Oh my God. I wasn't live. I wasn't live. You guys almost had to have a seance to get to hear the broadcast. The very tail end of Mercury retrograde. I'm blaming it as long as I can. Hello, Pam. How you doing? I'm Pam. I thought I had said hello to you, and I thought I was doing the show. No wonder. Ay, ay, ay. It's just been that kind of day, huh? So, took a shower. My hair is still not listening to me. Doesn't want to do a dang thing I tell it to. Hey, Circle K. Yeah, I wasn't really live. I guess I was in the ether for a while there talking to myself. Um, so yeah, you almost needed a planchette to get in touch with me or something. Well, some of you are mediums. I'd be talking to you direct. Don't get a planchette. Don't do it. Have a seance, maybe. I don't know. You don't need to do that either. I'll just come say hi. Hey, y'all. I've done that before when I was like just sleeping, and occasionally I've showed up to people. I I don't remember it, but I don't always remember it. Anyway, let's see. Subjects for tonight. Well, first I want to say Brad Johnson has been in the metaphysical world a long time. He has a channel. I'm going to give him a free plug because honestly, he's doing something very kind. He is giving free samples of his healing artwork, basically symbols. And he has come out with something that he said is as close to the med bed as you're going to get for a little while because he reads tarot and stuff too. He has designed his own cards and has a few other products, but he has come out with this um, bed system that is, he calls EtherX, he calls his products EtherX. A little bit like SpaceX, only the spiritual world. Circle K. Okay. AKA. So you're here, eh? I'm practicing in case I want to flee to Canada. Looks like the Canadians might be fleeing down here, though. Anyway, so we're going to talk more about that. And if you want the free samples, oh, and there's a Taro 17, get you 15% off anything in his store. And then there are free samples that you can download and use for as long as you want. And there's no charge. And he doesn't care if you buy the items or not. But he figures that there'll be a lot of people who will want to buy, including me. I will want that bed set because um, it has a lot of interesting properties it works on. I went and looked at the page, and my eyes went all funny looking at it, and it was all blurry. And I'm like, what's going on, man? And gradually, my eyes got used to it, and there's a pattern on the bed that on the bedclothes, and it just basically bed covers and pillowcase, and then some other kind of thing that goes with that. I'm not sure what it does, but there's like several pieces to the set, and the queen size set costs about 133, but with a coupon, I think it comes down at like about 113, and a single bed I think is only 111. Which for a whole bed set is not really that huge of a price. So, it's not like way out of bounds. I've seen them for that. So the fact that it actually does something for you, um, that's that's not bad then, not bad. So, and the fact that you can get and try out, with the symbols. The other thing is, who in the heck is Janus and why is he the least bit important or of interest to us? Good question. I had to look into that myself after having a dream. And I think I talked about my dream last time. So who's Janus? Okay, why is he so important? Okay, and why am I supposed to be studying what he does? Or who he is? So, let's see. Cryptids are returning of legend. People are beginning to see what we used to call mythical creatures. And they're beginning to just see them there have been reports not just etherically. They look darn physical and would seem to be physical. Now, can we prove it yet? No. But I think I can tell you why this is happening. I have a theory. Let's see. Like I said, some breakthroughs. We're seeing some facts come out about the perpetrators of a lot of BS. And I'm sure I don't have to go too much into it. Probably anybody who keeps up with what's going on probably knows that certain parties are being investigated now that should have been investigated a long time ago. And let's hope that continues. However, they're still trying to pull some shenanigans. Remember, it's just a movie. This is a play. Everybody's a puppet. Everybody's got a double. I'm not the only reader getting this stuff. Every reader's got a take on it, but a lot of us are picking up that everybody's a double. And the reality is a lot of things this year are going to be ending. This is the end of a cycle, beginning of a new cycle. There you go. That's a clue. Okay. So are they gonna finally get it? Yeah, they're gonna finally get it. People are gonna start to be getting held accountable for things. And that is a good thing, finally. And we should see most of the actual evil get cleared out. We will be losing people, yes, but we'll talk about what we're losing, okay, a little bit, and why we think so. I think it's going to be the way it is. So stay tuned, and I will run the credits. Be right back. Right, it's going very slow. I'm pushing the button, and yay, it's not fun. Marilena. Hello, Marilena. How are you doing? Good morning to you. You hate winter? Yeah, but winter is a good time to watch all kinds of movies. That's true. It's what I do too. I spend a lot of time watching either movies or certain things I've been like documentaries and stuff I've been wanting to see on YouTube or somewhere or whatever. Or anyway, so what's going on with the med beds? They're going to be a little ways on down the line. The actual med beds that can regenerate arms and stuff. Some people did readings on that. Most of us are getting that's going to be a while. That's going to be a little while yet before that really comes up. But we're going to start to see different practices in medicine, especially since the last 3 years. And some of you are going to find you are vindicated. You will be vindicated, and people will know what happened. It's not going to stay a secret. Yeah, it's starting to change. It's getting lighter later. Oh, cool. Everything's starting to change. It's going to be even it's going to be different this year. By the end of the year, things are going to be very different than they are right now. I can see that right now. And there's a lot of us seeing that. They're finally looking into the Biden crime family syndicate. I think they're going to run around and do the runaround for as long as possible. I think they're going to drag things along. I don't think there's going to be any kind of speedy justice. They're trying to charge them with lesser things than what they really need to be charged with is the problem. Them and Fauci and some of the other jerks that, however, these people will be getting cleared out this year. Hey, Project Skyfalls. Oh, you've been watching crime stories and shoot 'em ups? Maybe there's something wrong. Well, Circle K, whatever floats your boat, I guess. So Project Skyfall made it in. Hello there. So yeah, we are beginning to see yeah, like I said, the thing I noticed first was one of the first things I noticed was an independent artist ends up with top pop song. Oh, the record industry has taken a deep hit from that one. And I know it seems minor. It's not minor. Not at all. Not at all. That means the media is not what it used to be. Some stuff's going down. If that can happen, and he's still alive, things have changed. So now we're beginning to hear people openly criticize the Bidens. I think we might be able to say that now. I don't know. You've got too much work to do, and you're probably using the watching those things as a way to get away from working. Hey, Sandra Heath, how are you doing? So basically, we are seeing some positive stuff, and they are getting cleared out. I'll tell you what else is getting cleared out. Some people find this controversial, but some of you know what an NPC is, or a background person. there are people who have actually checked into this concept and not just talked about it, not just etherically, apparently. And some people have done, like Taro and other investigation on it, but I guess some people have looked into this in other ways. So the phenomena is real. There are people walking around that just have a very simple program, and when you meet them, you can kind of tell they ain't got no soul, man. Usually they have mind, they have body. The spirit, you can kind of tell the spirit is missing. They usually are the ones who do what they're told. They're just going through their life, doing what they're told, doing what they're programmed to do, almost like robots. And in fact, we think probably what happened with their, is it's kind of like, well, to explain them, it's kind of like when you're playing a game. Here we go. It's like when you're playing a computer game. And even long before computer games, we had them in like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. They're characters that just further the plot. They're not really played by a player. They're played by whoever is running the game. And if the game is running the game, then there isn't even a human playing, at all, except to create the character. And then they just make a set of rules and then the character follows them, and that's that. These are going to be people that you can't convince of anything. You can't convince that anything's different from what they've been told. Um, oh, ha ha ha. Yeah, about all of the corruption and movies about the corruption. You're kind of seeing the similarities in the real world. Yeah, I guess you would. Oh, geez. Yeah, I guess you would. Um, so, yeah, maybe that's why you're watching them, is because you're going to go, oh, I see. This is how it works. Okay, so the NPCs are going to be, have told you that me and, well, actually, several other people have said it, even in our chat. It looks like we're going to have a lot more people leaving, but it also looks like the largest percentage will come from the NPC population. And probably because it's their time. I mean, they are pretty much a failed experiment. They didn't work out as planned. And I guess they came in, somebody who was like checking on it with tarot cards, so said, something. It came in around the time that it was so popular. The World's Fair, we think, probably when they had all of the references to kids coming from a cabbage patch, finding a kid in a cabbage patch or something, or the stork bringing them or something. At the World's Fairs, they had a lot of infants in incubators and orphans for sale. There is a good chance that quite a few of them were these artificial people. People that, and looks like they were specifically made without being able to have a spirit in them. They can reproduce if they reproduce with somebody who has a spirit, but otherwise they can't reproduce with each other. So instead of them taking over, the soulless taking over, They're not going to be taking over anything. They can't reproduce with each other. So this is why some people are incompatible, perhaps, and can never produce children. But they're going to be the ones that are going to be leaving. And I think probably it's going to be because they do what they're told. They're good little slaves, they're good little sheeple. And that's what NPCs are. They're good little sheeples. And so they are going to be the majority of the people that are leaving. And what this is going to do, oh, yeah, that's another thing, Circle K. Yeah, we're doing clearings of our past like crazy, like over and over and over again. I'm doing, yeah, all of the time I'm clearing up old things, clearing out old stuff, clearing out old stuff. It's something we're supposed to be doing now. You know, yeah, healing old traumas and all that, and clearing out junk. Clearing out the junk because new stuff is coming. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So, hey, Pam, again. Pam's waving to everybody with a pink hand. Okay. So the people who are mostly going to be leaving are going to be sheeple anyway. So what that will effectively do, though, and probably they just get recycled. I mean, probably they don't have any, they will go back into whatever they were before. But without a soul involved, I guess when it's over for them, it's just over. It is over. So for some of these people, if they believe that it's over when their body is over, well, for some people it's going to be true. Because it takes a soul to be eternal. Souls are eternal. Your spirit is eternal, but your body is not. So, oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Now the thing is if you have seen the videos about the clot shot and what the clots are finding, what clots they're finding in people, coroners are finding in people, it will make you cringe to look at it. Don't look at it while you're trying to eat. Pretty gross. But I said from the very beginning, I think I said this last show, from the very beginning, I've been saying somehow this has something to do with parasites. And indeed, what they look like don't look like regular clots. They look like worms. Look like some kind of worm. And the coroners say that they are rubbery like worms. So, what seems to be in the abomination is a parasite. I would say if you have any doubts about yourself, any vermifuge, anything that kills worms, anything that kills parasites, seems like it works. I'm taking wormwood right now. I'm taking a course of wormwood. It's the cheapest vermifuge I can find right now. It's easiest to get. So wormwood and it's a mixture of things that you take to get rid of parasites, to do a parasite cleanse. So I'm doing a parasite cleanse. I recommend everybody do a parasite cleanse for a while until we completely get rid of this thing. However, the first version of the abomination is extinct now. There are doctors that are actually coming out and saying The first COVID outbreak, the virus that caused the first COVID outbreak, is extinct. It's gone. It's dead. It's died out. And the second one is on the wane. And so when you're getting a clot shot, you're getting a shot for something that doesn't even exist anymore. So there you go. It wasn't forever. See, you tried to make us think it was going to be around forever. No, it mutated, and now it's something different. And that was right around the time of the Omicron. So, and we know that the risks outweigh the benefits, and you are more actually now, we are at a place where we know that you are more likely to get sick if you have taken the juice, the bad juice. So there you go. The more you get, the more you take, the more at risk you are. Right. Yeah, don't do it anymore. The more you have now, they're finding out absolutely the more of them you have, the closer you are to killing yourself. You're just more likely to kill yourself with it than to make yourself healthy. And some of us have known this from the beginning, but we couldn't convince people of it. Some of us have known this. And yeah, all of the people that got the shot got sick anyway. Every one of them. And some of them multiple times. Whereas the people with natural immunity, only once. And that's a fact. We have some figures on that now. People who have natural immunity had it once. People who got the shots had it over and over. Some of them had it twice, some of them had it 3 times. And so is it helping? Oh, well, it makes it less bad. Less bad than what? You told us it could be asymptomatic without symptoms. So what's less than asymptomatic? How would you know that it's better? However, I have heard some of them that have gotten multiple shots complain of how bad it was. I remember back in the beginning, it wasn't good. But really, more people would have lived if they had been given the right information. And if the information hadn't been suppressed. And when people find out that happened, and they're beginning to find that out now, people are going to be pretty mad. But now, yeah, the birth rates are going down, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sandra. You need to take, you know what? I would say take a vermifuge, Sandra. Go get yourself a parasite cleanse. Get yourself a parasite cleanse and take a course of it. And I can't give you medical advice, but I would just say if it was me, that's what I'd do. I can't tell you what to do. But if it was me, and I'm doing that anyway, it's good to give yourself a parasite cleanse every now and then anyway, because it's easy to pick up parasites, especially if you have animals around. And kids pick up stuff too real easy. So, yeah. And like everybody, you know, might want to consider that. You can get the horse paste, you know what I'm talking about? The Ivor. You can get it around here, you can find it in a feed store, but all of the cheaper ones are gone, the smaller. tubes are gone, and you have to take a certain dose. You can't just slam it or anything. It's not going to work. You gotta have to. There's dangers to it if you do it that way. I think it's 3 milligrams, and you can just ingest it. You don't have to. I guess it's apple flavored because it's used for horses. The horse kind. There is the human kind, but they won't let you have that. You have to have a prescription for it. You can still get the horse kind. Yes, food grade diatomaceous earth is another good one. Yep, that's another one, diatomaceous earth. And I'm going to get some of that too. Um, there's all kinds of things that people use to get rid of parasites. Just study get rid of parasites and you'll be finding a lot of things. And probably any of them that'll work because everything that's worked so far has been a vermifuge. And what do the clots look like? Worms. So, who is right? I told you. I told you. A virus turns into a worm. How does that happen? Couldn't tell you. Ask Fauci Ouchie. He might know. It is weird though to think that I don't even know how that's possible. Yeah. So anything you can do that gets rid of parasites, do that. If you do that, you're probably going to be fine. And anybody you're worried about that's taking the shots, that's another way to help them. I would also recommend another thing I take is Z-Tox. It clears the junk out of your blood, clears the heavy metals. Because some of the reason why this stuff can even work is because we're getting systematically poisoned from all kinds of other things. And trying to get that stuff out of my life and out of my diet and out of my environment, well, it takes a lot of work. Really takes a lot of work, but I haven't used insect spray in maybe 30 years. I don't use petroleum-based products like perfumes. I don't use, just there's so much to it. I try to get as natural food as I can, cleanest food I can. Can't always get the organic or the, everything perfect, but I try to get it as well as I can. But I've always had sensitivities and allergies and stuff, so I'm kind of used to it. If you're used to just being able to eat anything, this is going to be new to you, and I can tell you, you're not gonna enjoy that. Trying to get rid of everything. But most of the stuff they have out there is and stuff that they put in supplements. And you got to watch your supplements. The supplement will be good, but then they'll put stuff in there as an additive that's very bad, toxic. So you can't even trust that. So, but what's happening now is, and we've talked about this before, but what's happening in the realm of medicine is all going to go sound and light, vibration, frequency. I think that's what I've been seeing for a long time. And actually, strangely enough, DeForest Kelley, who played Bones on the original Star Trek, said the same thing. He said that was what he really foresaw being in the future. Well, that's what I had been foreseeing too, is that it's all going to go to sound and light. It's going to go to frequency because that doesn't actually harm anything, you know? um, A turquoise person waving. And that's what it says under your name, Pam. Anyway, so this etherics products, they're a symbol, a charged symbol. And I could feel the energy off of them. I'm going to, if anybody wants a link, please remember that my Ocean Diana at Gmail. I'm probably going to put a link to the page in our MeWe chat so that you can find your way there and try out the free samples. He's given free samples. I like this guy. He's not, over concerned with selling. He's going to give free samples, and he said the free samples will work just like the bed set. Except it won't have the sleep function, but the healing function it will have. So what the basic procedure is, you charge it, and then you get the and then you just use it on different parts of your body. It gives you instructions on how to do that. I guess it's actually you linking up with the image. Oh, how messed up it is to be empathic. Gosh. Yeah, like I said, if we were to have an end of the world scenario, which I vote no, let's not. If we were to have some kind of nasty end of the world that caused a lot of grief, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to go through that. I know that would hurt. I mean, when they had the tsunamis, when they had other things where a bunch of people were, dying and grieving and hurting and everything, that was horrible for most of us. Most of us empaths were just right up the wall with that one, with that stuff, and all of this stuff that's going on. Pardon me. Do I make a good footrest? Okay, hang on. Okay, there he is, Mr. Important. He's got his feet resting on me. He doesn't want me to forget that he's right there, being adorable and purring. I guess I'm going to have to talk to you and rub his belly a little bit. So, Mr. Talks. Oh, really? An overdose on your floor. Friday, the neighbor across the hall hit him with Narcoms. The guy got up and left. Oh. Hmm. Oh, you and your brother. Is that the picture as you and your brother? Yeah, and your brother. We all need to learn how to deal with energy circle K. And if you're a person kind of in charge of dealing with other people's energy, like I am, doing crossings over and, getting rid of attachments and stuff like that I do. Yeah, it's not fun, but you have to learn to separate yourself from it. So anyway, these healing symbols are supposed to help us. There's about 10 of them. And like I said, the coupon code, I believe, is Taro17 to get a 15% off of anything in his shop. Brad Johnson shop, etherics.co, not .com, .co. And spells like ether, X. I think he's kind of taken a little bit from Elon there. Yeah. Oh dear. I see. Oh. Oh, hello. This isn't Pam I am. This is the other Pam. Hi, Pam. Wow. I had to look again. Yeah, this is the other Pam. Yeah. There's Well, yeah, you've been having trouble with the neighbors for a while. That sounds like my old neighborhood. The neighbors always giving each other grief. Oh, yeah, I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. I'm glad I moved. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everybody who helped me move. Um, okay. So then the other thing is, yeah, I wanted to say people seeing cryptids that they didn't used to see, people seeing legendary creatures. I mean, people that I know saying they've been seeing things like Pegasus, unicorn, dragons. I've seen dragons. Um, Various things, giants. What's happening? Why is that? I think the gates are getting ready to open. I think the doors, the portals are getting ready. I think we're going to come out of what they call um, quarantine. It's a type of quarantine that this little solar system has been in. And I think we're going to come out. And when we come out, we'll have some interesting new ways to travel. And that's going to revolutionize everything. That's going to make everything change. That's really going to be one of the things that changes everything, really big. And so the developments in medicine, the developments in transportation are going to happen. You'll probably see stuff start to happen by the end of the year in that direction. I don't know how fast it's going to go. Some of it's going to go. It's probably going to, some of it's going to be held back for a little while, probably. So people can kind of catch their breath. Yeah. Oh, oh, you're moving. Yeah. Good for you. Yeah, move to where you feel you got to be because honestly, you're going to need to be there. You're going to need to be where you know, we've got stuff to do. We've got jobs to do. And you're going to have to be where you're supposed to be. So don't drag your feet if you're feeling called. The cryptids, the portals are opening, and think about it this way: the the ice caps are melting. If there is a hollow Earth, and I think there is, the honeycomb Earth, maybe. Uh, but in Max Vision's class, we did a remote view. I was in a spacecraft flying through the center of the Earth. Didn't know that's where we were, though. But yeah, we all flew through it. We all saw it. We all did. Everybody in the class. That doesn't always happen. But we were doing so good that day, and usually when we're doing really good and we're all syncing up, then he gives us some kind of an assignment like that. We all saw it. We all flew through the center of the Earth, saw continents and all kinds of other stuff. I think the reason we're seeing more of these cryptids, giants, unicorns, mythical creatures, creatures of legend is because, for one thing, the gates are opening. For another thing, the ice is melting. The way the passages are going to be open now. Passages that have been frozen shut for a while, probably. Probably one of the reasons there hasn't been Traffic is physically is because physically maybe it's been impassable. As the ice melts, it's going to be passable. We better get ready. The giant's going to be coming back. So is everything else. And probably we're going to see it in the north and the south first, near the north and south pole first. And then there are also some key points where there are vortexes. That's another thing we remote viewed. It looks like Skinwalker Ranch has a hidden portal. They are protecting a portal by making everybody too afraid to go there. They're scaring people away from that portal. So it must be a main portal. But he gives us this assignment and he doesn't tell us what it is, right? He doesn't do, when he gives us a destination, he's not telling us the destination. He gives us a number coordinate. I was on a spaceship. I was on a spaceship. I wasn't on the ground. I didn't know it was Skinwalker Ranch we were looking at. But when I took a look at the ground, there were places that were wavy. Those, I think, were energy lines. There's also clouds that were, everybody was seeing what looked like either an explosion or B, clouds, major clouds. Plasma clouds. Plasma clouds. They use plasma clouds to hide things. So what's happening in Skinwalker Ranch? They're scaring people away. They do not want people hanging around Skinwalker Ranch. They want people too afraid to investigate too far. Now, some people get drawn to that, but they just scare them off. The hollow earthers are in another dimension. Well, you've been seeing a lot of crows lately. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Crows hang around when something dies. That's why they're called a murder of crows. When we had the guy die in the apartment across from me when I first moved into my apartment, there was a bunch of crows in the tree for the 2 weeks that it was like 3 weeks they didn't find him. Something like 3 weeks, almost a month. There were crows up in that tree. A whole bunch of crows. So there's something dead nearby. They're smelling something. Yeah, I wonder if we're in the other dimension, Circle K. Well, here's the thing. If they're in another dimension, and actually the way that we use these terms is imprecise, maybe another density, because now they're saying, oh, it's density, but now they're beginning to change their mind about that too. Like I said, we're being babbled constantly. Wherever it is they dwell, wherever it is they exist, has a physical component. What I'm trying to tell you is I think the physical ways are becoming open. The physical ways to go in between are becoming open. The gates are opening. That's what I feel is going on. Now, my dream was about Janus. Who the heck is Janus? Janus is, as I said last time, was usually when you look him up, he's just a god of comings and goings and doorways and et cetera, et cetera. Just supposedly minor. He's not minor. He's not minor. What the Flock channel has extensively gone into it. His numbers are 11 and 9. 9 and 11. And all kinds of things related to him add up in gematria to 11. And Janus. It would really be Janus because there was no J originally. J was an invention in the 16th century. So originally it would have been Janus, like with a G, and like giant, Jantos. And he traced it back to Noah, who founded Genoa, Italy. Yes, Genoa, Italy might have which was supposedly the first place built after the flood. So Noah was a giant, and Gianni is also a name of John, a version of John, and he was a father god. So names like Peter, Potter, Piotr, whatever, uh, would also be related to Janus. So in my dream, I'm studying Janus. I'm like, why the heck am I studying Janus? Well, turns out he has a lot to do with everything, all kinds of things. So 9 mostly has to do with education and programming as well, where 11 has to do with other stuff. So, Janus. So they were using these numbers to do what they wanted with them. Now, he's got a dualism, and duality is what this place runs on. 0 and 1, zeros and ones, offs and ons. Janus, two-faced God. Sometimes it's two men, sometimes it's a woman and a man face, and occasionally you even get a three-face, which is like the Trinity. So that there's a lot, and I urge you to go check out What the Flux channel. He has a cute accent you're going to like, probably that he has a cute accent. Let's see what chat is saying. Oh, what we can't perceive or conceive of. Well, yeah, thing is, once you know how to see this stuff, the dark is never empty again. Because once he realized that when his teacher turned the lights off, and he realized that the place was full of stuff, that there was stuff all around him. We only see 1% of what is there. We see a very small range, which is why in the intro to this show, I say the 5 senses actually hide more than they show us, than they give us. They actually block off more than they show us. I think that is a purposeful limitation. I think that's on purpose. When you start to go outside of the 5 senses and get into the clairs, the clairvoyant, the clairaudient, clairsentient, salient, all kinds of clairs. There's all kinds of other senses. And when you get into those, then you're starting to expand your spectrum that you can sense. And this is where I think empaths are finally going to enjoy it, is because if you're an empath, you are already hypersensing. Okay. So it shouldn't be too much of a stretch to um, say that you're probably going to be able to tune in the other senses too. So, mud shadows. Let's see. Mud shadows. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you know, when we talk about Tartaria, we're talking about it that way because it was on the maps. It was a huge, huge civilization that's been hidden from us. And they've managed to hide a whole civilization, a whole higher civilization. Well, Weatherflock has tracked it down. He thinks that this all goes back to Noah's time, after the flood, the first people to um, reestablish civilization were giants, and compared to us anyway, and landed in, I built the first city in Genoa, and this Janus also knew how to come and go, I guess, through the all the gates and doors and portals, and had a lot to do with that system. So why is he coming up? Why is he coming up in my dreams? Why am I supposed to study it? Because I deal with portals all the freaking time, all the time. That's what I do when I'm getting rid of things, when I'm getting rid of attachments, when I'm crossing over souls, earthbound souls, and all that. I call portals all the time. So I deal with the portal system in the etheric. Will I be doing it in the physical? I don't know, maybe. That may be the next. Maybe that's why I've got to study it. That may be the next. And what if it is? That would be a different way to move around, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting. Now, when we were remote viewing this, I have to say, we were seeing another place. We weren't all seeing Skinwalker Ranch. We were seeing another place, and we were all seeing these beautiful purple mountains with a beautiful, um, sort of a purpley blue sky. That's my place. That's the place I remember. I think we're going to run into my people, which is basically home. I think, but I was seeing Tartarian looking structures. I think that's what a home looks like. So the portal that was opening at that time that we were there, I think was to home. So I think maybe that's what they're guarding, is that there is already a portal to home, but they can't let everybody go galloping through there for whatever reason. And what if it is? I mean, I've got to look into it more. I can't tell you that's definitively what's happening, but what if it is? I mean, we're wondering, are the doors ever going to open and we get to go home? Maybe we are. Maybe we're fixing to. Maybe that's not that far. Maybe that is quite possible. I don't know yet. I don't know enough. I'm going to have to look into it all. But I thought I would tell you so that I'd see what you thought about it. And please put comments. Come and tell me in the chat or tell me in your comments. Think about it a little bit. Tell me what you think of all this. Take a look at some of What the Flock stuff. He had one of his channels get closed down, so he must have been onto something. He has a great accent. You'll like him. Real dense information on his site. So I can really recommend him. Kind of wish I could have him as a guest on here. I'm not sure if he'd come on, but maybe he would. I don't know. Let's see. What else? Well, that's another thing is as we come out of our PTSD from being constantly shocked and harassed and beaten and tortured and whatever, as that energy lightens up, then we're going to be able to finally expand ourselves enough to develop our other skills. Finally, because we've been held back. And so I see more and more and more of us able to access our other abilities that we haven't been able to access for a long time. And that's going to be another wonderful thing that you're going to see happening, starting to happen in this next year. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. The wonders that we're going to see start to happen this year. And I'm really looking forward to it. Remember, most of the people that are leaving are going to be NPCs. What will that leave? That will leave people like us, people who did not get a clot shot, people who think differently, think outside the box. Unlike my cat here, who I tell him he needs to think inside the box. Cowboy, you need to think inside the box, okay? You know, it's a little different with cats. I mean, they go back and forth between dimensions so easy anyway. But you need to think inside the box, baby, okay? Just makes it easier on mommy. You are such a lazy boy. Anyway, you missed that remote viewing? Oh, yeah. That was interesting. Yeah, we were all syncing up pretty good, so I guess Max decided to go for it. And some people were at first very upset that he chose Skinwalker Ranch, that said, oh, that's an evil place. I don't want anything to do with it. Well, I had just written it off as an open portal, which when we all looked, guess who was right again? It is an open portal. That's what's going on there, an open portal. But lots of things can come through. Maybe they're trying to get a hold of, maybe they're trying to get a grip on what's coming through that portal. Hard to say, but there is definitely a big vortex there and a portal, and a major one. So take that for what it's worth. What else did I say I was going to talk about? We already covered some of it. Oh, yeah, people I know seeing all of these, not just Bigfoot, not just Dogman, but I know somebody who was out with their friend, and both them and the friend saw a pegasus, an actual pegasus, more than once fly by, literally, physically fly by in the sky. And one looked at the other one and said, "Did you see that? Did you see what I just saw?" And the other one said, "Well, if it looked like a flying horse fly by, like maybe a pegasus, yeah." And this, though, was at another known portal. There is another known portal, big one, up at the top of the thumb of Michigan. And that's where the Pegasus was spotted. So I'm telling you, the portals are opening. We're going to see a lot more weird stuff. And I think the ETs are fixing to come out, and the Sasquatch are fixing to come out. That's the way it looks. Looks like Sasquatch is going to be getting in touch with even more people this year and letting people know that they exist. We have to grow up and realize we're not the only ones here. We've never been alone, ever. It's time. Yeah, and then another one of my friends, and another one of my friends that I trust, he says, I gotta tell you, the unicorns have returned. Usually what happens is you hear about it and hear about it and hear about it, and then you find out they're fixing to return. When it gets into the consciousness and people are really interested, that means they're fixing to return. That's my hand you're sitting on. You don't want me to use my other hand. Pet the kitty, huh? Okay, pet the kitty. Just everything will be okay if you pet the kitty. Okay. Anyway, boy, such a baby. Um, he's a mama's boy. Yeah, that would be intense, huh? But yeah, one of my good friends that I trust him. He's a sober guy. He's a very sober guy. He wouldn't touch alcohol or anything. He's seen unicorns, and I believe him. Okay, he says they're back. Other people have seen other things. I've seen dragons in the sky, honestly. I saw one and it was very fast. And it looked like a dragon. I tried to tell people about it, but they thought I was kidding or it was allegorical, something like that. I saw a dragon. It looked like a Chinese dragon. Yep. So, um, so what if they're all coming back? What if they're all coming back? And it was only for a moment. So I almost think it was coming and going, like coming out of the portal and then going back because it was heading somewhere, probably. And some of these things you probably only see them very briefly as they're traveling between two places. That's what I think. That's why they're here, they're gone. They're going through portals. They're traveling to somewhere. So you see them briefly here, and then you see them briefly go. Um, so that I predict there's going to be way more, way, 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 way more. Get out there and start looking for it. Let's see what else. News. Oh, anybody else got any news we should talk about? I think that's pretty cool. Well, yeah, dragons had to come from somewhere. Yeah, they did. I think everything that we see, griffins are going to show up. Mer people have shown up. The mermaids have shown up, although people have seen them too, but they're not believed. And they're shows that do what they can to discredit this stuff. There are actually shows that are trying to show it as a hoax, sort of like they hoaxed crop circles. But the real ones are different from the hoaxed stuff, just like the real crop circles are different from the hoaxes. The hoaxes are crushed, the real crop circles are cooked. So there's a difference. And I think one of the first shots across the bow was when a scientist from the Netherlands put his career on the line and said, and got it peer reviewed paper put through about crop circles being real, a real phenomena that seems to be caused by balls of light. That is, since '01, the official scientific cause of crop circles is balls of light. You can check that. Yep. Griffins, they're coming. Yep. Yep. You're going to be seeing, oh, you'll probably see your share of dogmen, wolfmen. Um, you might see the cat people, the lion people. They're going to show up too. The cat people have already showed up to some people. All right, they've already, Robin's got a picture of one. Robin's got a picture of a cat person. Here we go. The furnace is on. And there go my sinuses. Quit running. Quit running. I can't catch you. Quit running. Stop. Hi. Hey, you. Missed you. TDC. Thanks for the betrayal, as I sure feel valued. What? Heck of a name. But hey. Hi. Uh, if I knew who you were, I might, I might say I missed you too. Are you, maybe a DC? TDC? Um, Heck of a name. Sorry, all that happened. Yeah, seeing griffins would be fun, wouldn't that? Then that would really be wild. You're really getting wild then. Um, aren't they a lion with an owl's beak, with lion's feet and bird's talons, and or some weird, I forget what wings, but they're kind of a lion bird type thing. Oh, oh, hi, Tanya. Oh, gosh, Tanya. I missed you too. I miss you too. Yeah. Yeah, Tanya's in here finally. So you finally made it in. Good. How's it going? You'll have to call me later and tell me after the show how you're doing, hun. There sure is a lot going on. Oh, people have been dreaming of stuff like crazy. So, my dream about studying Janus, I've been looking more into it, watching the What the Flock stuff. It's funny how everything adds up to 11. In gematria, all kinds of things connected with this god add up to 11. And he says, you guys aren't going to believe this. This lands up being 11 too. You know, he keeps finding 11s and everything. Then it finally dawns on him. Hell, heaven. Take the H's off, you've got hell, Evan, hell, Evan, L, Evan. When I was selling fairy wings, because I was a vendor for a while, I originally charged $11 for them. $11. I called them $11. Here's another one. Elven. 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 Who are the elves? Right. These tall, beautiful people who made these elegant structures, right? And were magical. Okay. Who are the elves? Tartarians. Might have been the elven people. Might have been the elven. So, well, you might see more of everything. You'll probably see more of everything. Hey, Ken, what's up? Good day. Yeah. Well, there are some people showing up that haven't been here in a while. Good to see you. So, have you guys heard of some things? Good for you, Ken. I was just saying it's so important that if you're feeling called to move, that you move. If you're feeling like you want to move, do it. I'm not kidding. It's time. Get your ass in gear and move. This is a good year to do it. We're going to need to be positioned where we need to be. It's time to go where we need to go, be where we need to be to do what we got to do, whatever that is. Not that I'm sure what every single one of you is going to be doing. But if you feel like you need to be somewhere, it's time to get there. Yeah, people want to go back to the country. Well, the cities are being mass exited, really. And, who can blame anybody? The way it has been to be in a city lately has just been dreadful. And I do feel sorry for the people in China. Most of all, the government has been awful to them. And they've probably had it the worst for the longest. Very sad. And I hope that gets taken care of too very soon. I hope that their things get better for them. The vibe is strong to move. Yep. Yep. A lot of people here are saying they want to move. That's a sign. Things are happening. Things are shifting. So Janus, he's a transitional guy. He's God of transitions. That he's coming up so strongly now. The transition is happening. The stuff that we've been waiting for so long. Now remember, some of us have been waiting for this for years and years, decades. We've been looking for this ever since we've known. Some of us knew way back that this should be coming, but we've had to watch a lot of shit go by. And some of you are right there with me on that. I know that. You've been around a while watching all this, wondering when the heck is this going to happen? When are the cosmic tumblers in alignment to unlock all this? Well, looks like it's finally here. Pluto is going to be doing such a dance this year. And coming out of retrograde. Uh-oh. And that means more on the physical plane. Things happening on the physical plane. So we're going to see it now. We're going to see it. Yeah. And that's another thing. I think some of our animals are going to start evolving. Cats and dogs are evolving in front of our eyes. Some of them. I mean, have you seen the videos with all the cats that are standing on their hind legs now? For various reasons, they're getting up on their hind legs, and it's like, and doing things that they didn't used to do. Dogs, cats doing things that are just a little different than they used to do. One thing I noticed about cats is like it's almost a Mandela effect. Cowboy, cowboy, let me see you, baby cake. Yeah. When I was growing up, cats had a nictitating eyelid that would completely shut over their eye. I don't see it in cats now. Does anybody else remember this? When did cats lose that? When did that go? Or, I mean, we even have remnants, I guess, of it. They have remnants of it, but I remember watching my cat membrane close and open along with the eye. When did that change? It strikes me, I haven't seen that in years and years now. What happened? It's like that's gone. Did anybody else see that? Oh, your cat's getting over losing one eye. Interesting. Yeah, you could watch the membrane close as they fell asleep. I haven't seen it lately. Maui didn't have it. I don't see it in Cowboy. The fuck's going on, folks? So you remember, Karen Lynn, that change. Drake, hi! Well, I'm hoping a lot of things changed for the better because it looks like, though, looks like I'm going to be having a little less money than usual this after this month. Things are shifting and changing. I can only hope something arises to make up for it. Something has to arise to make up for it. I just got to stay the course. Oh, I missed y'all too. There's a lot of people showing up that haven't shown up before or sometimes ever. Yeah, I always had a cat, but somewhere along the line, I'm so glad you said that, Karen, because not everybody remembers that having been a thing. And that's one of my Mandela effects. Like I said, ever since I died and revived, I've been having personal Mandela effects right and left. First, it kind of was a trickle, and then it became gradually. Now it's more like it's raining Mandela effects. You know how rain starts drop, you think you feel a drop, then another drop, then drop, then drop, then eventually it's drop. It's kind of like that. Now it's just raining Mandela effects all over the place. They're all over daily, right? Yeah, now they're changing all the time. It's like, oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah. About the sun and genetics changing, about, yeah, the sun actually changing and changing our genetics because of that. Yeah. So bizarre. So we are actually seeing that. Yeah. I am seeing Mandela effect after Mandela effect for me. And actually, one of the things that changed several times was the date of my death. And revive it. But and that date changed. And other dates, important dates in my life changed. And other things about my life and my friends and all kinds of things changed. It's like, oh God, you're kidding me. That changed. And I had to get just kind of learn how to roll with it. Oh, really? Oh, gee, I'm so forgetful. So I don't have like 1,000 arguments. Because if I say, no, it's this way, somebody's going to say, no, it's this way. I'm going to look, and sure enough, it's changed. It's like, shit, changed again. So I've learned to just say, oh, okay, oh, I must have forgot. I didn't forget. I'm the only one that remembers. I'm the one that remembers. I mean, my wedding date, that changed. I couldn't keep it straight. Um, my my mom changed a lot during that time, back and forth. My friend Paul changed. My husband changed. Everything changed. And and then I realized that I was meeting more than this is the one that really gets people in trouble. I have met people that it's even my husband wasn't my husband. My ex wasn't the same guy. Then I met other people who were saying the same thing, but they were afraid to tell anybody. Their ex is an ex because they were somebody else. And sometimes not just a personality shift, sometimes physical differences. And in my case, certainly so. He was physically different. I'm not going to go into it, but he was physically different. And then I found somebody else that I said he was physically different. She goes, yeah, mine was 3 different people with 3 different wangs. I'm like, what? She says, yeah, 3 different ways of making love and 3 different penises, 3 different guys. One was a little taller than they were slightly different heights. And I'm like, you're kidding me. She goes, no, you're the first person I've told. She said, but only because I think you're the only one who'd understand. And I said, whoa. Yeah, my ex changed too. In subtle ways, a little more subtle than that. I don't know how many guys mine was, but he wasn't the same guy. Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Got real technical, the Manhattan and the Philadelphia, yeah, experiment. Yeah. Yeah. No, pretty scary. And where Star Trek gets some of their ideas from, transporter accident. They actually said that at one point. I remember classic Trek. Uh, yeah. Yeah, they were afraid of beaming somebody into a bulkhead if they got it wrong. Yeah. Um, well, the thing about time travel is if it ever exists, okay, this is the argument of why time travel has to exist, is because if it ever exists, then it always exists. Now, can you see why? Because once that barrier is gone, now it exists for all time. The limits are off of it, which means it exists because we've got infinity we're dealing with here. Anything that can happen will, which means anything can happen, which means since all time is actually one, it's already happened. Time travel's been invented. Faster than light travel has been invented. Interdimensional travel has been invented. It's all been invented. AI has been invented. It's all been invented, and therefore it is happening. And can it now, with the element of time, now it can exist in every time. There you go. Some people say you can't travel backward in time. I disagree. I disagree. We can't yet. Just because our scientists can't see how it could happen. That's the scientific way of looking at it. I'm telling you, there are people who do time travel. And as far as I can tell, I'm one of them. Because I'm future girl. And I always knew that. I'm from the future. I'm back here from the future. Back to the future. Well, maybe I'll get to do that one day. Let's hope I get to do that sometime soon. Yeah, they said they couldn't get past 2012, but that was an old video. Well, the thing about traveling to the future is if you travel to the future, you're putting yourself on a particular timeline. If the timeline shifts, you're not going to be able to get back to the same timeline. So there's a very good chance that once you start fooling around with time, and once you start fooling around with dimensions, that you don't get home again. Unless they've created a way to be able to coordinate that so where you can get home. And possibly they have. Probably somebody has. But right. Exactly. If they make it to a future, exactly, Circle K, you're a lot smarter than you think. That's exactly it. That's what I figured out too a long time ago. Wait a minute. When you go down a particular timeline path, you're closing the other ones. Mm-hmm. That means, however, who's to say? See, this is another thing that'll drive you nuts. Maybe thinking about it. If you go into the past, is it really your past or an alternative past? Because in the first time around, you weren't there observing the past. So you're in a different timeline now. Wait a minute. See how tricky? Ah, yeah. So basically, if you go to the past, but you weren't originally there in the past, then you're in a different timeline. You're not in the original past that you were in. Or were you? And if you were, did you just change it by observing it? Because we know about observing it, right? Think about this. Right. I've thought through all this, and you know why? I used to read a lot of science fiction and I like to write science fiction too. I wrote for amateur magazines and I wanted to write a time travel story. But when I really started thinking about it, oh my gosh, was it? To write a good time travel story is very elaborate. So I started thinking about all this. It's like, wait, are we ready for that? You really have to think multidimensionally then too. Oh, and then when you throw multidimensionals in on it, oh, now you're really, it might be multidimensionals going back and forth. And then there's ETs, right? And then there's interterrestrials, the people who live inside. It's a big old complicated universe out there, isn't it? It's big. It's really big. And we sit here and try and say to ourselves, why can't I figure this out? Does this, we're going to need some bigger brains. Maybe like those great big brains, those guys with the, that needed the stovepipe hat just to fit their brains in there. Uh, that's where I think the stovepipe hats came from. They really needed them, maybe. Maybe that was to hide that bigger head. Did you ever stop to think of that? Maybe they needed those hats to be tall to hide the fact that they weren't human. Maybe that was a way to hide it. The priest having this big tall hat, the shaped more like the giants with the tall head, with the big heads. It's what that hat is shaped like, isn't it? The Pope wears. And those big tall stovepipe hats could be hiding a great big head. How would you know? There you go. Yep. Oh, hand orange covering eyes. Yep. Yeah, I'm a deep thinker. This is deep woo. See the title? Deep woo. Deep, deep, deep woo. Deep woo. Oh, I am collecting Sasquatch shirts. This one says "Don't stop believing." I don't know if you're seeing it very well. Don't stop. He's putting the horns up. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light Sasquatches searching in the night. Something stupid like that. There's the Wookiee. I can give him a little hug. Come on, give him a little kiss too. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, the fish heads. Yeah. And my Pope hat. My Pope hat. Remember, I keep telling you need somewhere to store the extra brains. I think that's exactly what those big hats were. And and then people just told us. Just told us a story about it. Stocking caps. What if those long stocking caps originally were required to fit over those heads? Because now, we have long stocking caps that hang down. What if originally they needed them to be that big, that long? Yeah. Yeah, the Anunnaki heads. So, did they influence fashion? I'm quite sure. Quite sure they did. And remember, some of them didn't have tall as much as they were back. Some of them, instead of up this way, were more back that way. So they had more of a going that way, yeah. And that was King Tut's thing, is the reason he looks halfway, they can make him look halfway normal, is the angle from the front. He doesn't look that abnormal, but you look from the side, his skull is definitely abnormal. And they try to say boarding will give you that shape. Well, they give you the shape, but they won't give you the extra volume. So, yes. And I know somebody personally who says when he was a kid, him and his brother found two giant skulls in a cave. And unfortunately, they told their parents, and unfortunately, their parents reported it, and unfortunately, everything was cleaned up and they were never allowed to go back, and they weren't ever allowed to go back anymore. Why are they hiding the giants? Well, for some reason. Now, since the powers that were are getting out of the way, what do you bet? We're seeing, I said this, we're going to see all this stuff that they were hiding from us. What are we seeing? Now we're going to see the giants and everything else. We're going to see it. And eventually, the people who were cleaning up are going to have to stop cleaning up. They're going to find ruins and not ruin them, and not ruin the ruins. I mean, they kept ruining the ruins. That's the problem. They ruined our ruins for us. Yeah, there's some Sasquatch that apparently are not nice people. But then again, we're not always nice people. There are some humans that are not nice. There are some Sasquatch that are not nice. There's some Sasquatch that are great. They're just great. And so are we. I mean, there are some that are very loving and kind, and there are some that'll kill you, apparently. So people are like that. There are tribes where you go and trespass, they'll kill you. Or you piss them off, they'll kill you. Yeah, human tribes will do that too. Date a guy with conehead genetics, yeah. They're royalty. Yeah, they would be. Of course. Um, I don't know. I do know that mostly people who love nature and have a respect for it, they're not the ones who have the trouble. Seems to me. I think you may be onto something, Circle K. I've thought of that too. Because it seems to me that the reason mine were so sweet to me is because I was respectful of nature and I would not trespass when I thought I was trespassing. I would leave. I would I was never trying to harm anybody when I was out there. And also, they like music. I hear they very much like music, which they probably enjoyed me and my guitar playing quite a few times. I'd be playing guitar outside. So, but if you are close to nature, they are probably more likely to be friendly towards you. And if you are somebody who is just, if you're, I mean, probably a lot of it depends on you, on how you get treated depends on you. Yeah, well, it's interesting because Supposedly the young ones have red hair, which grows dark brown to black eventually. And then I guess there are some that are white or beige. So they aren't all the same color, although I suppose it's kind of like humans. Now remember, the dark gene is dominant, which means that as soon as you start mixing, eventually you're going to end up with more dark people than light. Because that's just the way genetics work. If a particular gene is dominant, then eventually you're going to end up with more of that. And, whatever wasn't that way is going to start to be in the minority. Mm. Oh, that's another thing. Cowboy. Cat ears. I find your hair there and everywhere. I find your hair when I go to sit on my chair. Yeah, they could be just crazy kids in Sasquatch. They could have the same problems with their youth as troubled youth as we do. Apparently, sometimes they have to kick them out. Yeah, I don't know. Sasquatch certainly seem to have psychic abilities, and so do dogmen, and so does most ETs. This is it, as far as I can determine, and all the stories I've heard, and I've heard many, 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 many stories. Almost everybody is telepathic. Almost everybody mind speaks, except us. But I think with us, it's lack of attention, it's more of a conditioning thing. I think we could probably all do it. We could all be mind speaking, but, um, we've been conditioned away from it. Yeah, it could be that I hear that other groups too sometimes get hold of young Sasquatch that are, for some reason, been kicked out of the tribe and use them for things. So that's another thing. I mean, they're probably subject to a lot of the uh, same issues that we have, only in their own way. So, you know, how would you describe humans? Are they good? Are they bad? Yeah. Are humans good creatures? Yeah. Are they bad creatures? Oh yeah. That too. But you see how this duality thing goes. Seems like it pretty much goes like that with everybody. So, do they have such a thing as a decent set code? Probably. I mean, we have a code of decency, how we expect people to act who are normal people, not to immediately want to kill you and eat you or something, you know, like a psychopath or something. And that's another thing I wonder about. Psychopaths. This is something I'd like to have answered. I may have to do a reading on that. What happened with psychopaths? Why do we even have them? What are they really? Oh, come on. Oh, get out of there. It's kind of dry, so everything's clinging too. His lily hairs get everywhere. Mm. So, yeah, I can't imagine being a Sasquatch with all that hair. Oh my goodness. Very hairy. I've seen some very hairy guys. They have a hard enough time. Our reality's too horrible to be. Well, yeah, you kind of got to develop a thick skin to be here, don't you? To be a human. You better develop a thick skin or you're going to be depressed all the time. I know I was for a long time. Totally depressed all the time and scared. It's been a long time being terrified and depressed. It's not as bad now. I still feel it, but I understand that it's not all me. But yeah, for a long time, our reality has been so screwed up that being too psychic or too empathic is just unbearable. Hmm. Well, you know, um, nowhere in the Bible, somebody pointed this out to me, and yeah, that's true. Nowhere in the Bible did it ever say that God created hell. Isn't that weird? God never created hell. So where did it come from? Oh yeah, that's right. What the Flock has a video on heaven and hell. Hell, heaven. 11. Here we go with the 11 again. I hear online somewhere there is a gematria calculator. I think I'm going to see if I can find it. I have a few things to check out myself. Wouldn't it be interesting to find out what the gematria of your friends and relatives are? And some of the things you're asking about. But yeah, we've been in kind of a hell world for a long time. The inverted matrix is kind of a hell world. But it's the inverted matrix. Now we're going to start to see what it was supposed to be like. It wasn't supposed to be inverted like this. I can tell you that for a fact. This is not the way it was designed to be. Now, there's all kinds of talk about what happened, but apparently the controllers talked us into maybe we would achieve things faster if we allowed the inverted matrix, that maybe we would go faster, progress faster. It slowed us way down. So we're begging off of that one. That was a used car salesman. Seems like everything they ever sold us was just horrible. Cannot trust them one bit. Thought projection, yeah. Mine seems to be a little different from telepathy. Okay, who's got a sinus headache? Somebody have a sinus headache? Because as I'm talking about it, it's going away. Okay, this is not mine. So I send it back with consciousness attached. May it be healed. Yep, it's gone. Interesting. Well, whoever that was, sorry about your luck. That was painful. Speaking of being empathic, I also smelled at the same time I was smelling kerosene or gasoline. There's no gasoline around here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. petroleum. And then a sinus headache. Weird. So somebody, I was tuning into somebody. There you go. That's another thing that they teach in Access Consciousness. Who does this belong to? So when you're feeling crappy, you gotta ask, who does this belong to? If you can remember to do that, it helps. You might be able to remember that not everything is yours, and then you can get it to move. Sister had some bizarre symptoms today. Might be Stephanie. She has a situation where somebody thought they were going to help her out and spray some kind of perfume or deodorizer or something in her car and in her room. And it's making her sick because she's allergic to petrochemicals. Okay, heal whoever that is for. Whoever is really actually having this. It's Stephanie. Send her some healing. So, yeah, sometimes darn hard to do a show when this stuff happens. Let's do some quick exercises. I would like you to close your eyes, get into a comfortable position, and do that thing where you're in your favorite place, your happy place, right? But now what I want you to do is expand and expand and expand and expand, expand. And let yourself expand way outside the bounds of your body. Just feel where your boundaries are. And expand out, and expand out, and expand out, and expand out. And when you get tired of doing that, and you will find that you can expand quite far. You will expand, you will be able to expand all the way past Saturn, all the way past Pluto. You will be able to expand and expand. And then when you get tired of expanding, you can knock off with that and bring your awareness back here. But you should feel a lot better because too many of us try to cram ourselves into these little tiny abbeys and it don't fit. We're way bigger than that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next one is sit up straight, get your spine straight, and just push your chakras back to your spine. And oddly enough, you know how to do this. And then align them side to side as well. There you go. So they're centered right on there. Ah, that's better. Doesn't that feel better? Okay. Isn't that interesting how you know how to do that? You know how to do both those things. Anybody teach you how to do that? No. But you know how to do them. Weird, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, here's another one. Send your roots down, and tunnel down, and tunnel down and down and down and down and down, down and down and even farther. And go down and down and down and down and down and down and down. Go down until you break out into the open. If you go down far enough, you will break into an open space, and it will feel very spacious, very much more spacious than it feels here even. Ah, yes. Ah, okay. That should ease up some of your stress. That should ease up some of your pain, some of your stress, some of your everything. If you can remember to do those three things, that will help you feel better. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, as far as I can tell, kind of looks like we use our chakras like we use our arms and legs and stuff. They're extensions of us. Somehow we use our chakras. That's how they go out of alignment. I know sometimes when I'm reaching for something mentally, I have to put that one back in, push it back to the back, because you ever hear that, like, my heart went out to them? Push your heart back in. We try to do things with our chakras like they're extensions. They are extensions, but it's not good to have all of your chakras misaligned. You got to line them up from time to time. Your chakras drift to the right, huh? Okay. So, that ought to have you feeling a little bit better. Okay, if any of you have any concerns, please get in touch with me. If you want to know more about anything I've said, please get in touch with me, oceandiana@gmail. If you are a sane, relatively sane person, that trustworthy person, I will give you my phone number. If you're not, I'll just slap you upside the head and say, what were you thinking? But no, I won't do that. Not physically, anyway. Not in any way that you can prove in a court of law. Anyway, okay. I'm getting ready to close it down because we're heading for the 2. We are past, yeah, we're at the just about at the 2-hour mark. Even though I had some false start there in the beginning, we're just about at the halfway point. So that means it's time to start closing it down. We made it through another 2 hours together. And I want to say I love you. Remember to tell people you love them. Some people are going to be leaving. Most of them are going to be NPCs, though, that leave. Some of them are going to be very advanced souls, though, that are leaving so that they can help us on the other side. But don't worry, you'll see them again. And they're still around. Okay. Truth is where you find it. I hope you're finding some of it here on my channel. And don't forget that you are divine. You are creators. And you do create this reality along with the rest of us, both individually and collectively. We create reality. We always did. We always will. We create reality. We have been misused and abused, and enslaved to create realities that somebody else wanted. Now it's time for you to clear all that out and create the reality that you want. And we're going to have an opportunity to do that for the first time in a long, long time. That's coming. That's here, in fact. We're starting to create that kind of reality now. Remember that whether you're calling it the fifth dimension, fifth density, fifth octave, or whatever the heck you're calling the place that we're heading for, this ascended frequency, whatever you call it. Remember that you're creating it. So create wisely. Okay. Love you guys. I will see you again at other chats, and I will see you. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be here tomorrow as about the same time. It's always Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday around 10 o'clock. And as often as I can, I'll be there. Be here on doing my stream. And I've been doing pretty good. I've only missed one in over a year now, due to being sick. Sort of a stomach flu or something. Oh, James Ortiz. Hey, how you doing? So, hope to see you then tomorrow and Wednesday, right around 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay, time for me to go. Nice seeing you, James. But we're ending. It's been 2 hours. Just in time to say bye-bye. I'm late. I'm late. No time late. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. What's that? Yeah, that was a white rabbit. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. I'm late. I'm late. Okay. He's the white rabbit. Oh my goodness. Twyla, hi. Did you just get the word? Did you just hear about this? Doggone. Oh well. You too, dear. You have a good night. Thanks for coming. Right. And much love. And if you see Pam, tell her she did a good job and we want her back on at some point. Not right away, but at some point. Oh, you've been on for an hour. Just were lurking, huh? Okay. I'll see you later. And come on.